Members of the House, please be seated. Members of the House, please be seated.
Will the House come to order, Mr. Clerk?
Aloha and good afternoon. Today's invocation will be presented by Representative Troy N. Hashimoto. Will the members who wish to participate please rise?
Members, you can be seated. Good afternoon, members. I hope that you all had a great weekend doing what you enjoy to decompress from the last week of hectic meetings. I know many of you spent a socially distanced Sunday watching some football, right? Hoping that one player would give others a chance to win a Super Bowl, because isn't 6 enough, right? Nevertheless, it is occasions like yesterday where we are once again reminded how much our lives have changed and how much we continue to sacrifice as we yearn to gather with family and friends in large groups in a safe manner. It is my hope that through diligence, focus, and a strong vaccination rollout, we will once again see better days soon. And as we look to these better days, it is our job as leaders of our state to figure out how we can strategically get ourselves back on firm footing. So as we look ahead and some of our bills begin to die, let's keep the focus on what is important, working for our state and helping those who are most in need. Let's have a great and productive week. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Hashimoto. Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Mr. Aquino, Ms. Bellotti, Mr. Bronco, Mr. Cullen, Ms. DeCoit, Ms. Eli, Mr. Ganadin, Mr. Gates, Ms. Har,
Present.
Mr. Hashem, Mr. Hashimoto, Mr. Holt, Ms. Ichiyama, Mr. Iligan, Mr. Johansson, Ms. Capella, Ms. Kitagawa, Mr. Bertrand Kobayashi, Mr. Dale Kobayashi, Mr. Kong, Mr. Lopresti,
Present.
Ms. Lowen, Ms. Luke, Ms. Martin, Mr. Matayoshi, Ms. Matsumoto,
Present.
Mr. McDermott, Mr. McKelvey, Mr. Mizuno, Ms. Morikawa, Ms. Nakamura, Mr. Nakashima, Mr. Nishimoto, Mr. Ono, Ms. Okimoto, Mr. Onishi, Ms. Peruso, Mr. Quinlan, Mr. Sayama, Mr. Takayama, Mr. Takumi, Mr. Tam, Mr. Tarnas, Mr. Todd, Mr. Tokioka, Mr. Ward, Ms. Wildberger, Mr. Woodson, Mr. Yamane, Mr. Yamashita, Mr. Speaker.
Present.
Mr. Speaker, all 51 members are present.
All right, members, we're on item 2, reading of the journal. Representative Morikawa.
Mr. Speaker, may this matter be deferred.
So ordered. Item 3, Mr. Clerk, are there any messages from the governor?
Mr. Speaker, there are none.
Item 4, Mr. Clerk, are there any Senate communications?
Mr. Speaker, there are none.
All right, members, we're on item 5, reports of standing committees. Representative Bellotti.
Mr. Speaker, I move to adopt Standing Committee Report numbers 30 through 61 as listed on pages 1 through 9, and that the accompanying House bills as may be amended pass second reading and be referred to their designated committees.
Representative Morikawa.
Mr. Speaker, I second the motion.
All right, is there any discussion on these measures beginning on page 1, SCR 30? Next page, 31. Representative Okimoto.
Mr. Speaker, may I declare a potential conflict of interest?
Please state your potential conflict.
I am an officer on the Planned Community Homeowners Association in my district.
There's no conflict. The ruling remains in effect through Sanidad.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Is there any other discussion?
Mr. Speaker.
Representative Lopresti.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. May I also have a similar ruling? I am also an officer. of
Same.
HOA.
Same ruling, Representative Lopresti.
Thank you, Speaker.
Is there further discussion? If not, SCR 32, Representative Tokioka.
Speaker, I'd like to ask for a ruling on a potential conflict.
Please state your potential conflict.
I work for a broadband service company in my private employment.
There's no conflict, Representative. The ruling remains in effect through Sunny Day.
Thank you.
Representative McDermott. Representative Ward. Okay, any discussion on 32? If not, 33, Representative McDermott.
I'd just like to cast a no vote. Thank you.
So ordered. Representative Ward.
Speaker, no vote, brief comment.
Please proceed.
Mr. Speaker, this is one of those been there, done that. We vetted this with our good friend Marcus Oshiro when he was here. The jury is out on what actually the studies indicate. I think the majority are saying, hey, if you got the startup costs, you're going to be okay, but look, it's not a sure slam dunk. And my biggest fear is not the startup cost. My biggest fear is what I've said time and time again. When you mix political leadership with economic leadership, i.e. banking, you have favoritism. Now, I know the author of this bill, and I have full confidence in him because he comes out of banking. But government running a bank is not the way to run an economy or to run loans. Mr. Speaker, I've spent too much time in the third world to see how these things overlap and they just don't work out. For those reasons, Mr. Speaker, I think we're treading water in another place, and I wish we could cite journals of 2 or 3 years ago and enter the same comments because I'm kind of repeating myself. But having said that, a no vote would be the best thing I could do for right now. Thank you.
All right, is there further discussion? Representative Okimoto.
Mr. Speaker, with reservations, please.
So ordered.
Thank you.
Representative Quinlan.
Mr. Speaker, if I may, in the words of the Minority Leader Emeritus, let this be a marketplace of ideas. Thank you.
Is that in support,
In
or
support.
opposition? In support. Is there further discussion? If not, next item 34. Any discussion? If not, next page 35. Representative Prusso.
No vote, thanks.
Representative Prusso.
No vote?
Okay, so ordered. Further
Speaker.
Representative Eli.
No vote.
So ordered. Representative Wildberger.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, with reservations.
So ordered.
Mr. Speaker, no vote.
Okay, Representative Capella, no vote.
Thank you.
Further discussion? Representative
Mr.
McKelvey.
Speaker. Reservations, thank you.
Reservations, Rep. McKelvey. Is there further discussion?
Mr. Speaker.
Representative Lopresti.
Reservations, please.
So ordered. Is further discussion? If not, next item, SCR 36. Representative McDermott.
A no vote, please.
So ordered. 37. 38. Next page, 39. 40. 41. 42. Representative Okimoto. Representative Okimoto.
Well, Mr. Speaker, SCR 42?
Yes.
Okay. With reservations, please.
So ordered.
Thank you.
Representative McDermott.
No vote, Speaker.
So ordered. Representative Ward.
Speaker, no vote, brief comment,
Please
please.
proceed.
All of us have a home that's taken over by the homeless in our district. It's intractable, drug use, all kinds of things that really are a big nuisance. And this bill is a good bill because it solves that, except, Mr. Speaker, it says $5,000 per day if you don't correct it, if you're the owner. And I know the author has had a real big problem in his district regarding this, but as I brought up in the committee hearing, why not a warrant as a way of getting the people to have the police to come in and get rid of these people. So I think, you know, we have to hit the nail on the head, but this puts a sledgehammer, I think, a little bit too heavy. $5,000 a day is huge. Even the political fines are not even that high, Mr. Speaker. For those reasons, no vote. Thank you.
Okay. Representative Matayoshi. Was that in support?
Brief comment. In support. With brief
Your
comment.
microphone's not on.
Hello?
Kim. Rep. Nakashima could
In support, brief comment.
please proceed.
As the previous speaker stated, this is a bill meant to introduce to try to help deal with that problem in all of our districts. Every district has its own house or houses that pose an incredible problem to its neighbors, affects the health and safety of the neighborhood and the community that it's in. The problem I'm trying to really address, the fines are kind of a separate issue. The problem I'm really trying to address here is forcing the county to act. In the issue that I had with my district, in one of the issues I had with my district, the counties just will not, no matter how high the fines are, they will not start foreclosure proceedings. And this is after the first 90-day period and a second 90-day period, so already half a year has gone by. I'm sure if any of you have tried to deal with the problematic houses in your district, you've run into the same issue. And I think that there needs to be a drop-dead deadline for action by the counties. Otherwise, the neighbors and the community really has no avenue for relief. There's no light at the end of the tunnel. And when there's no light at the end of the tunnel, people just lose hope. I want to give them some kind of thing to look forward to, that at some point the government is going to take action and try to deal with this problem. And that's what this bill is trying to do. Thank you.
Thank you. And please address the chair going forward. Thank you. Representative Peruso.
I appreciate the intent of the author, but I still have reservations, so.
So ordered. Representative Wahlberger.
Thank you, Speaker. Reservations, please. Thank
So
you.
ordered. Representative Tam.
Mr. Speaker, with reservations.
So ordered. Representative Capella.
Reservations. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
So ordered. Representative McKelvey.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker. With reservations, I've talked to the author about the measure. We've had some good conversations. I see where he's getting at, but as a law of general applicability, it may have unintended consequences on the neighbor island where permitting and planning functions are spread out between several different agencies. Because of that, I have reservations. Hopefully, the next committee can look at that. Thank you.
Okay.
Mr. Speaker. Matsumoto.
Matsumoto.
With reservations, please.
So ordered. Representative Ganadin.
With reservation, Speaker.
So ordered. Is there further discussion? Representative Dale Kobayashi.
With reservations, please.
So ordered. Okay, further discussion? If not, next page. SCR 43, 44, 45, 46. Next page, 47, 48, 49, 50. Next page. Representative McDermott, 50.
No on 50, please.
No vote. So ordered. Representative Okimoto.
Mr. Speaker, SCR number 50,
Yes.
HB 393, correct?
Yes.
No vote as well, please.
So ordered.
Thank
Representative
you.
Ward.
Speaker, reservation on that bill, because unless we let the poor know that, hey, you're going to have to buy, not that old clunker, you're going to have to buy an EV. I hope this date is appropriate for those people who are really, really hurting now. We're going to have to make them buy an electrical vehicle with this bill. I think that's cruel and unusual punishment, and we need to rethink what that date is, that these people who cannot afford new cars are actually now going to have to buy an electric car. For those reasons, Mr. Speaker, I think we need to re-examine this bill.
Representative Lowen.
Mr. Speaker, just a brief comment in support. The bill currently has a blank date and also would not affect resale of used vehicles, only new vehicle sales.
Representative Wahlberger.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, in strong support. Mahalo.
Please proceed. Okay, so ordered. Is there further discussion? If not, next page, SCR 51. Representative Okimoto.
Mr. Speaker, no vote, please.
So ordered.
Thank
52. Representative McDermott.
Same measure, no vote.
So ordered. Any other discussion? If not, 52. Representative McDermott.
No vote, Mr. Speaker.
So ordered. 53. 54. Next page, 55. Representative McDermott.
No vote.
So ordered. 56. 57. 58. Next page, 59, 60, 61. Okay, is there any discussion on these measures? If not, all those in favor say aye. All opposed say no.
Aye.
Said measures pass. The motion is carried. Okay, Representative Bellotti.
Mr. Speaker, I move to adopt Standing Committee Report number 62 as listed on page 9, and that the accompanying House bill as amended pass second reading and be placed on the calendar for third reading.
Representative Morikawa.
Mr. Speaker, I second the motion.
Is there any discussion on SCR 62? If not, all those in favor say aye. All opposed say no. The motion is carried. Item 6, third reading. For the motion to suspend, Representative Bellotti.
Mr. Speaker, I move to suspend the rules of the House in order to consider a certain House bill for third reading by consent calendar.
Representative Morikawa.
Mr. Speaker, I second the motion.
All those in favor say aye. All opposed say no. The motion is carried. Representative Bellotti.
Mr. Speaker, I move that House Bill number 1278 HD1 as listed on page 10 pass third reading.
Representative Morikawa.
Mr. Speaker, I second the motion.
Is there any discussion on this measure? Okay, if not, we'll take the vote. Representative Morikawa.
Mr. Speaker, on the measure before us, all majority members vote aye.
Okay, are there other no votes or reservations on this measure? Okay, if not, said measure passes third reading. Members, we're on item 7. Mr. Clerk, are there any resolutions for action?
Mr. Speaker, there are no resolutions for action. May all others be referred to print.
So ordered. Item 8, announcements. Members, are there any announcements? Representative Hashem.
Speaker, your Committee on Agriculture requests a waiver of the 48-hour advance notice for requirement for the purpose of hearing the following measure, HB 1323 on Wednesday, February 10th, 10 a.m. in room 325.
So ordered. Are there further announcements? Okay, if not, Representative Bellotti.
Mr. Speaker, I move that this House stand adjourned until 12 o'clock noon tomorrow.
Representative Morikawa.
Mr. Speaker, I second the motion.
All those in favor say aye. All opposed say no. The motion is carried. The House stands adjourned until 12 noon tomorrow.